Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay. 13 Ghosts. We told you motherfuckers we're going to continue this Halloween Horror Month shit all year long.
How many ghosts?
Fucking doing.
How many ghosts?
It stars Kevin Costner and it's about the JFK days.
13? That's an unlucky fucking number for
I watched the wrong goddamn movie. Oh. Yeah, this is a weird ass thing. The movie's directed by Steve Beck, and I swear to God, dude, when I sat down to watch this, I was thinking,
I swear to God, he came out of the phone booth and tipped his hat like that. And who do you think that was? Emilio Estevez. I swear to God.
The Money Dog guy, I swear to God. But no, when I was watching this, man, I was sitting here alone in my bunk, and I was watching it, and as soon as 13 Ghosts started, I thought, oh fuck, we gotta do Ghost Ship.
I know, man. Ghost Ship is another underrated, weird, quorky ass movie.
It's the only 2 movies this guy's ever directed.
It's good. Good for him.
It's that sense. It's that movie sense, motherfucker.
We got that shit on lockdown.
If you stoop low enough into the bowels of YouTube to find this channel, you've got that movie sense too. So
it's so much bigger.
13 Ghosts. You've always fucking loved this movie.
I love this movie.
Love this movie. Every time I was like, we should do a movie. He's like, 13 Ghosts, let's do it, please, Dad. And I'm like, no, son.
You're not my fucking dad, bitch. I don't know who he is. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know why I said that. 13 Ghosts is one of those movies that came out when it came out, and it's a Orlando Studios fun ride. It's not really meant to be. I mean, it's. I don't even know if it's that scary, really.
2001 horror film.
2001. It's more like I don't know. Again, Orlando Studios. If you're walking through a haunted house, there's I can't even scare you, bitch. Like there's moments in it that you're like, that's pretty cool.
I don't play that game, dog.
But at the same time, you're like, that's really corny and that's really cheesy. But you know what? I'm having a good time. It's quirky enough. It's all right enough, and by God, people like me. So I'm not that down. I'm not that against it. Does it have problems? Fuck yeah, it has tons of problems. But at the same time, I'm having a good time. I don't know if you're having a good time.
Change it if you want to.
So yeah, it's like Wilson Phillips. Hold on for one more night. So,
but dude, okay, so this is a full-on spoiler review. We're gonna do these just like we talked about, like when we did the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street. So when we do these, I don't want to say classic, it's not a classic horror movie. With these retro horror movie reviews, we're gonna go skin deep in these motherfuckers
deep in that.
and go real deep into them. So if you haven't seen the movie, check it out before we watch this review, or maybe you don't give a shit, and that's fine too. But so this movie starts off, and it starts off in a fucking garbage heap, much like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street 4. It starts off in this fucking junkyard, and it's fucking crazy, weird Michael Bay shit happening. You've got the main guy, and this is a guy who looks exactly like he could have been. He could have been the main dude from House on Haunted Hill, but he's the rich dude with the cane and the.
Yeah, he's like the fucking substitute teacher that comes in and takes their job way too seriously. That's gonna give you a pop quiz on your first fucking day. And you're like, what?
He's not just gonna hit you with a paddle. He's gonna make sure you get splinters.
And he's like, where were you with those sacrifices? Have you ever made them? Have you? Have you? I'm like, bitch, no, because I'm fucking 17. But he's like that kind of prick. And their whole idea, and he also recruits Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard is playing Dennis Rafkin. Matthew Lillard. Leave her alone. He's a psychic. And they're catching a ghost in this junkyard. That's, we don't really know.
They don't explain shit.
They're catching a ghost, and they have to have bait, which is a truck full of blood. And Matthew Lillard actually sums it up. He's like, a truck full of blood? You gotta be shitting me, because you're like, why would you have it? Why? It's a ghost. But that's what he's essentially there to do is to catch this ghost. And there's 2 other ones, Kalina and another dude, that are all against him doing this. And they come into protest, and his little minions grab him, and dude, I don't even know what the fuck is happening at this point.
I thought you would have a better handle on this since you like it so much.
I know, I do like it, because but it's still so weird. But I'm saying, like,
that don't explain shit.
No, what did the minions do? Like they don't even have guns. They don't have like proton packs. Like there's nothing going on.
Like, proton packs on the back, and they split. Trying to forget about evil, massive evil. Trying to about boys. It's not legal. Ow!
Vigo,
you know it.
You take the taco.
But when it starts, they try to give a little bit of backstory while Matthew Lillard's arguing with this guy, and he's like, "No, I only signed a contract for 12 ghosts," and then Cyrus is like, "Yeah, but there's gonna be 13." He's like, "No, no, no!" And then people start dying, and then these weird ghost things start coming out and fizzling into the light, and then people start dying.
They have a containment cube that if they go in there because there's spells on the containment cube, they can't get out of it. I'm like, Egon's gonna be pissed because he spent a lot of money on that fucking containment unit that they use in Ghostbusters. But either way,
the whole thing looks like it's filmed by the guy who directed Die Hard plus the dude who directed the opening sequence to Halloween 5, because everything's this close to your fucking face.
But I don't.
It's all rapid fire.
I know, but I don't mind it though. I mean, that kind of like quick gunfire kind of shooting is not a bad idea. I mean, especially if the movie is not that serious.
Sometimes.
It's not. I don't think they took it seriously.
It works sometimes, but 67% of the time, it's like good jam shit.
And when we move from there, after again, this is a spoiler. Cyrus dies during the midst of catching the Juggernaut.
He just fucking falls on a car. It's like,
yeah, well, he has a fucking thing through his neck, and Dennis Matthew Lillard is like, oh, Cyrus, so you still owe me a lot of money, bitch. Anyway, he dies, and by the way, you can see the ghost with these special glasses. Like that motherfucker. These glasses are basically safety goggles that people in factories wear and works. Yeah, they wear these safety goggles, and you can see the ghost. That motherfucker looks like they bought that at Lowe's, and they put like 2 little lights on it. It's like, it's real nice. I got it at Target. But yeah, I was like, well, the Christmas holiday is coming up, so who knows? Like that, they're gonna sell that. But any Hoosier.
All of a sudden that shit happens, and then then the movie starts.
Yeah, really.
And it's like this slow opening, and you could tell they didn't have money to actually show it because you just hear it. They show Monk, who's Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub. His name's Arthur in the movie. They show him and his wife, and they're all happy, and they're watching their kids play in their yard in their big nice house. But then the camera starts to spin away from them, and then you hear them screaming because there's a fire in the house, and the fire burnt down. He's like, "I'll get the kids. You get the meatloaf." Yeah. And then she dies in the fire, and then it's just his kids. One of his kids is Shannon Elizabeth, the hot chick from American Pie.
Damn, she's still smoking in this too.
So by the time the camera gets to its full tilt, we see them today after this tragedy happened, and they're living in basically Mel Gibson's house from Conspiracy Theory.
Well, you know, I don't mind the opening though. I mean, the opening wasn't done as well as I wish it had been done, but you get enough of the backstory to understand Arthur Criticos's position in life. I mean, he lost his pretty wife, he had a great home and all this shit, and all his kids were happy, and now he's living in a shithole on the upside of fucking Compton.
It's like Joe Dirt. It's like, you've been living in the janitor's closet?
I got a few places.
Yeah, so... And it's basically, it's him and it's his young son who's obsessed with death and wants to be like a news anchor, because he's like, decapitated. And Shannon Elizabeth, the older
decapitated,
and then the chick that they hired to
the nanny
that they hired. So they're living this poor life, and it's terrible. And it's kind of like the start to Mr. Mom or like any '90s like family movies. Like, oh, I spilled coffee on my shirt. I gotta get the kids ready for school. Shit's crazy. Mom's gonna want me to be there on time for my presentation.
But he got kind of pissed. He was like, "God damn it, Bobby!" He's like, "Pick your shit up off the floor, please, Christ." You piece of little garbage.
That's when fucking Lars the lawyer shows up, and
I like that guy though. He was so weird, but he looked like his face looked plasticky anyway. Like he didn't even look real. Like he looked like he was wearing a human mask.
He looked like one of Mr. Smith's dudes. Like,
he did.
He shows up and he's like, "I have something to show you." And he brings him in, and basically this was, by the way, 2001, but they had this weird PC version of a YouTube video where he sets Cyrus down on a laptop in front of him, and he's like, "I never gave a fuck about you or your shitty little poor, dirty, smelly Cheeto family before, but I've decided randomly that I'm going to die, and I'm going to, as my final wishes, because my nephew that I never got to really know, I'm going to give you my fucking house."
I kind of like, but you know, something about Cyrus, man, the way that he talks.
He's good actor.
He's such a badass. Like, I mean, in a way, yeah. I mean, but he's so evil, and it's so obvious that he's evil. Yeah. If I were Arthur, I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. And then
he's even smoking a fucking pipe.
There's one part when he goes like, "Maybe we'll meet again. Cut up. In the afterlife." I'm like, fuck this. I don't need Count Dracula fucking giving me a goddamn mansion.
Instagram videos only give you 1 minute.
So anyway, they all decide, the family as a group decide to go and meet this dude at the house that Cyrus has left for Arthur after work. And they're all driving up there. Now this is where I think it really takes a turn for like the more universal side of the adventure. Because, you know, they're all excited and the family's in the car and they're like, like, I can't believe it. I fucking love Walkmans and shit like that. And then the lawyer's driving, and then he does this cool. I love this movie when I was a kid. Like, there's a part where the lawyer's driving and he looks in the rearview mirror and he does this little wicked smile. He's like, and it's like, "I believe in people dying. I believe." Like this.
That song was so fucking weird.
I know, but I like the song because it fits the movie, and it just, for some reason, I'm like, I'm in for a treat.
Yeah.
I'm in for a fucking treat now, because it wasn't the same as I had seen. You know, they're not trying I think, to be super scary. They're just trying to tell a good story with supernatural elements.
It's early 2000s rock and roll fucking made for TV. Not made for TV, but made for mass consumption horror movie. And it
So
works.
they get to the mansion, and it's a glass fucking house. I mean,
It's weird as shit.
yeah, I mean, but they were also about how amazing it looked. I'm like, this looks like shit. Like, I don't want to live here. Like, there's all this writing on the wall. Like, who the fuck is this King Tut? Like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
But they're all excited about it. And then,
Fucking love Matthew Lillard.
But
Can I
Lillard
just say
goes in
that?
and he looks for the power box. Actually, what he's doing, he knows what's going on. Like, he's like, oh, Cyrus, you fucking crazy son of a bitch. He saw all these spells and shit all over the house, so he knew something was weird. He goes into the basement and he sees these fucking ghosts. Now, these ghosts are different than what I've seen before, because you've got, like, they're different, like, they're like Power Rangers. They're like fucking, they're like Rita Repulsa made them in a lab, because you got, like, the Torn Prince,
Yeah.
the Angry Pilgrimess, the Angry Princess, the Child, and the Half-Witted Dimwat, and all these crazy...
It's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas's ghost from Man of the House.
But he goes down there and, like, he sees all these ghosts and all these containment units, and he's like, what the fuck?
And what the movie does do good, though, is you do feel for Arthur, like, the whole time. Like, I like him. He's a good character in the movie. That guy's a good actor. Underrated. I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah,
Matthew Lillard's fucking underrated. Like, Matthew Lillard, I do not understand why he always got... Like, this is fun. I'm glad he did this role. But, dude, if you'd have just got Matthew Lillard in different situations for different movies, I think he could have been 10 times bigger, like, than he is.
I think the worst mistake he may do was taking Scooby-Doo. Like,
Maybe.
I think that is really where his career tanked, because I think that he was fine with being cast as, like, the kooky guy for a little while.
Yeah.
Because, he was in Scream as the kooky guy. He was in this movie as a kooky guy. Summer Catch, he was, like, the kooky dude.
Yeah.
And
But
now...
he's that weird dude who's, like, he could sell you pot, but he could also stab you when he gets on LSD.
But then again, I don't know. I mean, he never really got a chance to expand where he could have gone. I think Scooby-Doo fucking tanked him. I think as he came out of Shaggy...
Well, that and movies like this did too, because really, like, he's a good actor. Like, he can do things no actor can, but at the same time, sometimes they put him in these situations and it's almost like they're poking at him. Because, like, initially when he goes down and he sees the containment units, he's having these, like, weird migraines.
Well, he's a psychic.
Well,
There's one part. There's one part
It's
where he's
just
like
bad.
leaning against this containment unit, and he's like, "Ooh!" I'm like, "You just popped the biggest nut of 2001." I mean, it looks really hard, and but anyhow, when
the kid ends up getting lost. Basically, is what happens.
yeah, they
They're
all run.
searching.
Yeah.
Kid gets lost, and the whole movie becomes about he decides
Bobby.
he decides to be a good guy. Matthew Lillard does, and he's like, look, this is the thing. Me and Uncle Cyrus used to catch ghosts together, and that crazy motherfucker built this house to contain these ghosts. So downstairs in the basement, there's 12 fucking ghosts that are these tortured fucking souls, that most of them, the only thing they know is violence and to kill people, and your son's loose in this house, and we need to get your family out.
But the big kicker is the fact that the fourth ghost was the withered lover, and that was Arthur's wife that they recruited and captured after she burned to death in that fire. And that
Good
really,
twist.
that was like one of those moments where, like, God damn,
That's fucked up.
They built this machine based on a design of Basilius, who wrote a book back in the 15th fucking century that under demonic possession, that was it was designed by the devil, this machine, and powered by the dead, a black zodiac. And when you open this machine using their energy, this black zodiac creatures, you could see, you open up the Oculus Infernum, which is the eye of hell, which is an eye that can see the past, the future, the damned, the blessed, everything. And whoever controlled it would be the most powerful man on earth. Cyrus, you have a little dick. And that's what he wanted to do. Uncle Cyrus wanted to do this.
It's the Eye of Agamotto.
The Eye of Agamotto is seized forever. But Matthew,
pretty cool though. Like,
I thought it was cool
because what happens while they're searching? This random fucking Tomb Raider chick pops out, and she explains it all. She pulls out the book. Yeah, she's like their rogue enemy or whatever the fuck. It's stupid. The Tomb Raider chick pops out, and she explains this whole thing. Monk finds out that Matthew Lillard helped take his wife who burned alive in the house and put her as one of the ghosts. And there's a fight about that. But basically what they explain is that, I keep calling him Monk, I know it's not fair, but Arthur, his character has to save his kids and to save Shannon and Elizabeth. Shannon Elizabeth's character disappears and you have no fucking idea why or where she went, and it's never fucking explained. some of the ghosts suck and some of the ghosts are okay, but it's this weird curmudgeon of fucking weird shit.
I liked it though.
The first ghost, it looks like Shaq in Steel if like they couldn't get Shaq.
You know Juggernaut?
Yeah, like no, not Juggernaut, but the
Hammer.
Yeah, he's got shit. It's corny. And then the fat guy who's the baby.
Yeah, it's the dire mother and the unsummoned child.
They just stand there with black light puke on them, and they're just like, and they're not gonna do anything.
Like there's one part where like she's feeding, and then they see him, and he's like, it
doesn't make any sense.
And then, but there are cool. There's
a couple cool ghosts.
Jackal, I think, is the best, but the Juggernaut's not bad. The first ghost, he's not bad. The Angry Princess isn't bad with the nice boobies.
That she is great actually. Yeah. She actually scared me because this chick, she's this undead chick, and she's got. You always talk about like slash movies, like Jason's going to slash them titties. This chick had cuts on her tits are just always out.
Yeah,
like her tits are just always out.
Always out there. And they're ready for you.
They're cut up and shit. And when she would move, the camera would do that House on Haunted Hill like thing, and she'd be in a different place. That was scary as shit. She was really good.
The coolest thing about this movie is on the DVD commentary, they actually go through each one of the 13 ghosts and their backstory. So if you guys get the DVD commentary or the Blu-ray disc. They actually do yourself a favor and watch the special features because they actually explain in Cyrus Critico's voice why he picked those particular ghosts and what they did in life to cause their death. But yeah, she was cool. I liked the Bound.
What about Cage Master?
Who's the torso was. I don't fucking care. The one that's all wrapped in saran wrap.
It was creepy looking, but what's it gonna do?
He's like,
it can't even bite you.
And then
doesn't have a head.
The one, I don't know why when I was a kid.
I'm hitting with my stub.
The one that freaked me out was
the dirtier Nikes.
Not even the big boobied girl, because I mean, those are nice tits and you can die seeing that.
She scared the fuck out of me. She's scary.
The one that scared me, I don't know why it did though, is the one that was, I don't remember, the Bound girl. The one that was wrapped up in the tie and she's like, ugh. Like the one that's choked to death. That scared the fuck.
But she also looked like an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know, but it just scared me. I don't know why, because you can see her bones sticking out of her neck. It just scared me.
I think if any movie, if you're talking about movies from like the 2000s that deserves a remake, it would be this. The only thing that you'd be missing is the good acting from Tony Shalhoub, or however you say his name, the monk guy, and Matthew Lillard. And just the weird 2000s feel. But if they remade this movie today, and all you had to do is just take the 13 ghosts and make 10 of them fucking scary, this movie would have actually been way better than it was.
I think they were going for like an emotional edge to it, and they actually do pretty good for that emotional part of it because like all the guy wants to do, and you know, he's lost everything. He's lost his wife, he's lost his home, he's lost his self-respect in some ways, and he's barely surviving and doing his best. And with Arthur Critico's
fucking Black Friday will do that to you.
You know, sometimes the deals you just can't pass them up, and you're gonna fucking mortgage your house for them.
It's Thanksgiving.
But he goes in and basically how the movie winds up or wraps up is that he's convinced that the only way to save his kids is to jump into the eye and become the 13 ghosts and set them free. What he doesn't realize is that this has all been a part of a plan of Cyrus, who's been working with that bitch Kalina the entire time to convince him that this is the only way. And in fact, this is what Cyrus needs to complete the ritual, is for him to become the 13th ghost. So Cyrus, being a dumb shit, like I don't even know why you would do this. Cyrus joins the fray after, you know, he plays the tape and all the 12 ghosts are around the Oculus Infernum. His two kids are sitting there and, you know, the tape's playing like fucking Evil Dead stuff. He shows up. Arthur's ready to jump into and become the 13th ghost, but then he like starts naming them off 1, 2, 3, each ghost that's around the circle, and then he looks over at Cyrus like, if I'm the 13th ghost, then how the fuck do you exist? When he takes off the Lowe's glasses, he's like, you're a real motherfucker, and that's when it all goes to hell for Cyrus.
Easy way to tell.
Cyrus fucking loses that point. Maggie's the one. Is that her name, Maggie? I don't know. The nanny.
You know, in real life, her name's Raw Digga.
What?
That's her real name. Raw Digga.
The nanny fucks the tape up, screws up and sets the ghosts free. As far as them being around the circle, and then they all get pissed off because they know who Cyrus is, and they pick his ass up, throw him in the fucking infernum. Arthur gets his balls back, jumps in the fucking thing, and he sees Matt. I thought that was a nice nod. Matthew Lillard comes back as a ghost and says, you can still save your children, Arthur. The power's still in you. Even though that's corny as fuck, but I still liked it.
I also like Matthew Lillard's death scene, because right before he dies, basically he does the executive decision you're not gonna make it. You are. Closes the gate to save Arthur, and basically what he says is he's like, I've been looking for a reason to like myself for a long time.
I love that line. That was a great line.
Matthew Little's character in this movie is great. Like, he's a guy who did what he had to do, but he was still conflicted. And even when he's talking about why he did what he did for Cyrus, they're all blaming him because he took his wife's soul and put it down there. And he's like, look, I'm a fucked up weird guy, and Cyrus is the only person who would even talk to me. So yeah, I did what he said.
And Arthur does save his kids. He does jump in the middle of the Inferno. He doesn't die. And the fucker finally blows up, and they all get out alive. And you see all the ghosts at the end kind of be set free. I don't know where they're going. I guess they go to heaven. I doubt it. They might probably go back to the place they were and just haunt that bitch.
Like, that was another those things. Like they're just gonna go fuck up with other people.
I thought they'd just go back to their place of origin. And by the way, I just want to say the Jackal's perfect representation of what it's like to deal with fucking human beings for like 9 hours a day. You become the Jackal. You become that caged head motherfucker.
Start scratching people.
Yeah. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm going to give the movie a 6.0. I really fucking liked it a lot. I don't think it's a very scary movie at all, but I do think it's something that people should check out if they're bored. I've watched it a million times just because sometimes it's one of those movies you'll pop in and you'll be like, I know it's not going to be as good as I want it to be, but I'm having a great time doing it, and I didn't have to pay anything because I could get that bitch on DVD for $2.
You always mentioned how much you like this movie. I'm surprised you give it a 6 because I give it a 6 too, and I've always
well, the reason why is because I know where
it's one of those movies you just like.
Yeah, because I know in reality where it's going to stand. I mean, I know watching it as a film, a 6.0. Now, if it's a personal fun time, I'd give it a lot higher score. But
Ghost Ship's kind of the same way.
Ghost Ship is, but dude, those movies are so they get you going. You don't understand them, and you never need to understand them.
They're an encapsulation of time because the 2000s were weird because a lot of stuff was just like we're just trying to rip off Wes Craven, we're just trying to do Scream, we're trying to do this. So you got these weird little like almost techno rock fucking horror films like this one, and like when they're pulling up to the house and that weird song's playing. It's just this weird time capsule vibe that these movies have, and I do love that about this, especially Matthew Lillard.
You'll never get it again.
No, and
that's one thing you'll never get again.
And it won't, and it's strange, and I do love it for that same reason, which is why I give it a 6 as well. What I think's fucked up about this movie is that the guy who shot this, like, what the fuck kind of peyote were you on? Every single shot was this close to everyone's face, and it was just like terrible fucking editing and cuts to crazy shit. You could barely grasp, like you really had to fucking strap yourself in and squeeze your butthole as tight as possible just to follow what the fuck is happening in this crazy French fucking weirdo director's movie. He's not even French!
He was on that Tatanka peyote.
But it's just crazy and weird and hard to follow and weird.
Well, it's not really hard to follow. I think the story is pretty simple.
It's a simple story, but they made it hard to follow. Like just the way it was shot. Like for real. Like every time someone was speaking from the get of the movie, the moment it starts, when why is everyone in a hurricane? Like everyone's voice is delayed from there. They're always like, Cyrus, you gotta go to the storm shelter! Like the whole fucking movie.
All he's saying, I don't need to go to the storm shelter. There's no tornado here.
Everybody just looked like a reporter reporting a
But I will say, I also want to point out that Shannon Elizabeth is fucking smoking in this still.
She always is, man. And I wish that we could have seen what the fuck happened to her character because she's disappeared.
Yeah, Shannon Elizabeth, and I don't care about that Bobby kid. That Bobby kid fucking annoyed the shit out of me. And he's one of the part that detracted from Bobby. I hated that fucking kid. Bobby Kritikos, I'm sorry, you were fucking. You're the Anakin Skywalker from episode 1.
Rod Digga was just in there to make fucking John McClane Kirk. She's like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
I think it would have been cooler if random people had been trapped in this house, like the lawyer, Arthur, Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, we didn't talk about that, dude. The lawyer's death was dope as fuck.
That was the death scenes. They're few and far between, but the lawyer scene is the only one that really stands out.
When he got hit with that fucking door, because he gets scared from a ghost and he backs in and it actually cuts him in half, Event Horizon style. Yeah. And his face, he goes.
That went on for like 2 minutes. I want to be like, are you dead yet? I think it was funny though, because he got scared of the angry princess. He's like, hey, earlier I was just joking about that. Yeah. It's like, yeah, she's gonna believe you now.
She gets major points from me. She was actually scary as fuck. Cause
that part in the tub.
Yeah.
That part in the tub.
And the way she moved, dude, she was like.
Well, when she was doing this thing, when Shannon Elizabeth was washing her face, she'd be like, and you're like, don't do it anymore. She was doing that herky-jerky.
Honestly, a lot of the people in the basement reminded me of the horror people from the Amityville Horror remake. When he goes down to the basement, those just like...
Well, dude, I think... They remind me a lot of I don't know why those ghosts just seem like they... Like again, they were created by Rita Repulsa.
Yeah, some of them, like,
they just were jokey.
A couple of them were good. Yeah, some of them were terrible. Yeah. So yeah, 6.0 for both of us. It's a classic 2000s horror movie.
But it's good. That's why it's good. You guys gotta check it out if you've never seen it.
Yeah, for sure. Comment down below, let us know what your all thoughts are. We love your fucking faces, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn whale up in you, or just leave her alone.
Ooh, live her alone.
Leave her alone. My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
You went pretty deep here, bro.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.